Hi guys, my name's Jake and I just wanted to talk for a little bit about pumps and my experiences with a certain type of them. Now, as we know, setting up a brewery, a home brewery, pumps are a big expense. You know, the stuff quickly adds up. We all know how expensive things like stainless fittings are, and when you start adding those up with the cost of the parts, with the electronic, all the equipment, even if you're building it yourself, it really gets expensive. So, you know, it's reasonable to look to save a few pounds if you can. Now, generally I'm of the opinion that, you know, if you want something, you should just spend the money, buy a good one that's going to last you a lifetime. However, at the same time, I'm also a tight bastard, so I don't always do that. So, about 2 years ago, when I started using pumps for home brewing, I ended up going with one of these 12 volt food grade. They call them. If you search for 12 volt food grade pump, you'll probably find this one straight away. I'll show you now. It's this fella. Comes with their little feet as well. I took that off in this case, so I don't need it. But yeah, these ones are everywhere. And I'll be honest, even though I bought it thinking, you know, this will last me maybe 2-3 brews. Not going to be much good, but you know, I can't afford this and I need to brew soon. I've got this new equipment. I need a pump now. So I bought one of these and I'm still using it. That's the same one. I've had 3 in my course of buying these things, and they've all served me really well. As you see, I'm just covered in stuff at the minute, which means we've had another successful brew day, which prompted me to make this video. So, I mean, let's talk for a minute about, you know, the sorts of things you use pumps for. You know, these big chugger pumps which people recommend, damn right, they're good. You know, you won't go wrong with those. But they are very expensive. And, you know, it's checks and balances, it's what you want. I would suggest that for most home brewers, you know, I brew more than most, and probably abuse the poor things more than most as well. But these things have really stood up with me, and I like to make a case for them. Bless them, you know, they need it. Little Chinese and things. So yeah, you might be recirculating work, you might have a rim system, you might have a Herm system, any sort of recirculating mash system, you're going to want something which does that. Now, this does this, no problem. I've done it for 3 or 4 hours straight doing some back-to-back stuff. The only thing you might get is if you let these sit, so you run it through and you let it sit and you don't flush any hot water through. Normally when I'm finished I'll run some hot caustic, mostly to clean the element, which I also have to once in a while take apart and strip down and properly clean, but that does the job. But yeah, get some hot water through these relatively quickly, otherwise the impeller sort of gums up on you, and you know, you're not going to be able to start it again without taking the head off, and just literally give it a spin if it happens to you. First time it happened I thought, well, there we go, just as I thought it's broken down after about a month. No, I misused it. You'll take it off, literally just give it a spin and it'll go again. These things take 12 volts, which is quite nice actually, because you know, that way you're dicking around over it, you're doing stuff with them, and it's good to know you're not going to electrocute yourself on them. Unlike something like that, which when you make it, yeah, there's a good chance it will. But yeah, these are all little 12 volt, and they're completely waterproof and submersible, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. So yeah, recirculating, use it for transferring as well. These are great for transferring. Anything hot or cold. For example, you know, in this case, I pump from the bottom of this through here, through the rims tube, round here, and back in the bottom of this one. And you know, this will push against, you know, I can underlet in anything with these. I've had this full, about 40 litres, which is about as far as this will get without boiling over. You know, I've pumped against 40 litres all through that, no problem at all, wasn't even making a noise. So yeah, if you're underletting your mash tun, this will do it, no problem. I can speak up to about 40 litres, anything more than that, perhaps not, I don't know, but it certainly doesn't seem to struggle. Whirlpooling, this will whirlpool. During the boil, I just in fact, all the way through the boil, I give it a recirculation just to get a nice even boil, make sure everything's getting nicely done. Probably unnecessary, but hey ho. And use it for whirlpooling afterwards as well. So that's about an hour recirculating boiling water, no problem. They'll stand up to shitloads of abuse as well. I get, for example, I mean, you might have seen here, the pumps here, I restrict the flow through this tap. There's no grant or underback, or whatever you want to call it. Normally, if you want to restrict something like this, you should do it on the output, not the input. So this is bad practice, really. But I restrict it here because it means this is having to pull against a partial vacuum, plus you get an air in there. It doesn't give a fuck. This is the same one I've used. Doing this for about 2 years now. Same setup. It just won't give up this thing. And get air in them. And sometimes you want them. You might be transferring and you've left the tap closed. You might have loud music on and turn on the pump and not realise that it's going trying to pump and not doing anything. That's definitely never happened to me, obviously. But if that did happen to you, this wouldn't have a problem with it. Honestly, literally like a minute, no problem. Just fucking bulletproof. And this is all it is. Here's what I just had to take it apart because I tried to run way too many solids through it. As you can see, coffee stout. But it's a little brushless motor, so you got the stators in here, and this is electronically controlled, so it activates magnet. The rotor also, has its own magnet with 2 poles, I believe. I'm not an expert on this. Then that will just spin. There's no contact. There's no brushes. There's no friction. There's no oiling you need to do in there. This will fill up with water or whatever. It doesn't matter. This is as simple as it is, right? So it's just a little impeller, and that will go in there. I mean, just about anything goes wrong with this, you can fix it because it's so simple. There's hardly anything to go wrong. Great little things. So yeah, use them for that, use them for transferring. So I thought I'd make a case for these things because it's not often someone comes out and recommends, cheap Chinese stuff, and I can understand the assumption. I certainly really had it when I started that these things would automatically be pretty rubbish. But if in doubt, go with. If you really want something that's definitely never going to let you down, it's never going to give you up, it's going to last you a long time, then, get the good ones, get the expensive ones, get the real heavy duty ones. But, the thing to consider is, as I've said, I give these a hard time, and I've had these for a while, and they've never given me any problems. The ones we have at work, you have to baby the things. I've never known them not to leak a bit. And you have to be so careful, don't get the slightest bit of air in there, otherwise the gaskets go and then they're 90 quid to replace. Again, these, obviously they're completely different kettle of fish. One's a big industrial thing, and this is a tiny little homebrew pump, but we are homebrewers, and that's what we need, and that's what we use. We don't need industrial kit. I would suggest that these things will do the job perfectly adequately. And the thing to consider is, if you, on a certain budget, you might be able to buy one pump, a nice pump, or you can buy 3 of these for the same price at least, and these are going to last you a long time. It's not just that you're going to have to replace them. These are going to last you a long time, and you can do like I've got one for the rims tube, one with a little quick disconnect which you can plug in there anywhere. Rather than having one really good pump which you've then got to dick around changing over hoses all day long, you can afford to have a few, and you can have a spare one if you need one. I've never needed one. I lost one of these, and that was to frost. I left it out here with a bit of water in it. It was open, but obviously wasn't enough room to expand. Just cracked the head on it. The head's actually a fairly, I think they're like a glass fibre reinforced polymer of some description. They're pretty good, pretty tough. But yeah, it froze in there and just cracked it open. So that's why I've got 3, or bought 3, and I've got 2. But I bought the second one, I bought as a spare because I figured the first one was going to fail on me. And I had it knocking around for about a year and a half. And I thought, just use it. So now I have 2 on the go, and you know, it makes my life easier. So, you know, don't overlook these is what I'll say. Just because they're cheap and Chinese. You know, get these, you know, get on AliExpress, you know, you can buy the domestic ones, they're the same, they've been made in the same place, someone's bought them and shipped them in and is charging you a premium for that service, which if you need them in a hurry, use it. If you don't, then get them from, you know, direct from the source. As I said, I've had 3 of these and every one of them has been identical. You know, I don't think there's any real difference between the manufacturers. Don't know if they're made by different people to the same spec or what, but they all seem the same. So yeah, that's a consideration for you. Happy brewing and beer.